Hey, welcome to Black Gumbo Southern Gardening. Today I'm going to show you how I'm going to finally try to eradicate these nutsedge infestations. I've got a lot of nutsedge. The flame weeding didn't really work, and I'll show you why. After this summer's garden season, I noticed that I had a lot of weeds, more than I had in the past. And I noticed that I had a lot of nutsedge. And nutsedge, it spreads so easily by these runners underground like this, and they just make these networks about 6 to 8 inches under the surface of the soil, and it's really hard to eradicate this stuff. I flame weeded twice, and I turned up the soil to expose all these networks of roots in hopes that by burning these exposed roots, that these things would no longer sprout and grow. And some of them, like this one, you can see it's dead. It's not putting on any new growth. You know, this is good. This is what I wanted. But at the same time, I noticed that within a day, this nutsedge started sending up new plants. And I came to the conclusion that I'm just gonna have to dig it out by hand. Man, that's back-breaking work, but if you want this nutsedge out and you don't want to use any chemicals to kill it, then you got to put in the labor. So that's what I'm doing. There you go. Oh, that's a good one. There's some here. Look at that whole network. So what we're just doing is loosening the soil down pretty deep here, and that exposes all these nutsedge runners. There's something big down there. Any bit of nutsedge root, runner, the nut itself, the rhizomes, any bit of that can grow again. Look, there's a big network. That's what we mean by runners. We're going to miss a lot of this, but by pulling it by hand, we're going to eradicate at least the majority of this nutsedge. That's the hope. And while we're at it, getting a good look at the health of our soil here. And the soil is actually really healthy. Loads of organic material in here, loads of earthworms, and we've been amending this soil for years with compost, and yeah, it's good soil, real good soil. That's what we're looking for. That's probably not nutsedge, but you can take it out anyway. Yeah, that's a pepper plant, I think. Here's what we're looking for, though. This guy right here, you're gonna get the fork in right here and shove down, and then just lift up, okay? There's a network on that one down there.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Let me give you a close-up of what it looks like. So I'm gonna pull this up just like that. You can already see these runners. So there's a rhizome there. This is all part of the same network of this nutsedge. So if we break it up, you can see they send out these runners like this, and this is the part that's so hard to pull out, because along these runners they'll have these little nuts. Let's see if I can find one. There we go. See, I pulled the runner, and there's a little nut right there, covered in dirt, but you get the point. There's a nut right there, and out from that nut come these runners, and that nut makes it hard to pull out. If you try to pull it out, frequently you snap it off and it just sends up another one. So yeah, this stuff is difficult to get out. You can just kind of break it up like that, and yeah, see, there's a runner going that way. So I'll loosen this right here. See if we can't pull that whole system out. Well, we got a lot of it. I can hear it snapping off down in there. That's no good. There Yeah, there we go. There's a nut. And along that runner, it just keeps sending up plants. Yeah, this stuff, I hate it. Whew. Another issue we're going to have is the nutsedge in these holes here of my cinder blocks. These are literally all over the place. And they're just going to send their rhizomes right down into my soil. I'm not sure yet how I'm going to deal with these, but ideally I'd come and pull the block back and dig out every single hole here. I'm not entirely sure I have that in me right now, so I gotta get rid of these somehow though. If you have a creative way to get the nutsedge out of the holes in the block without tearing up your entire garden, leave me a comment. All right, you got that one? Broke it off a bit.
Broke it.
At least for some of my beds this winter, I'm going to use this woven ground cover. It's a weed cloth, and it's 4 feet wide, so it'll cover the inside of my bed, but I'm going to also cut it so that I can get another strip and cover these holes as well, just to see if over the winter we can drown out some of these weeds. And what I'll do if I'm planting starts is I'll just cut a hole in this and plant that start right through this ground cover, and we'll put mulch on top of it most likely. If we're going to be sowing seeds directly, especially with our carrots, obviously we can't use this, and that's okay. So I've got to plan my garden where things are going to go now. I've got to consider where I've grown brassicas last year and the year before, because you want to try to rotate your crops a little bit to avoid soil-borne pests and diseases. I haven't had any cabbage or brassica pests or diseases. That's not to say they're there, or they're not in the soil. They might be. So I'll probably be growing cabbages in this bed. This has not had any brassicas in a while. Okay, I've been working real hard to get my beds clear to that nutsedge, and I've got the number 1 and number 2 beds pretty much clear now. I'm going to give it a few days and let it show me where the ones are that I haven't got yet. They'll show themselves in a matter of days, and we'll go and continue that way. So yeah, that's the reason why my garden is running behind schedule this year, is I had a lot of weedy issues to deal with, and in order to do that I needed my garden to be empty so I could go in and turn the whole thing over. And flame weed, now the flame weeding did take care of all the other weeds. I haven't seen any of that come back. Ideally I wouldn't be turning my soil this much, but you got to do what you got to do. So the other bed, the one way over there with the sweet potatoes in it, I'm going to have to take all those weeds out as well. There's nutsedge over there, so that's next on the list. So it's just slow going, and the good thing is this year and every year, this time of the year, ideally I would have had my garden planted and seeds sown and starts transplanted into the soil in the first week of October. But it didn't work out that way. And again, one of the reasons is I was going to have to do this and plan for some weed control. So we're underway. Now, it won't affect our planting of our winter crops too much. We're still in the window where we can plant, and if we have a mild winter, which we usually do, if we have a mild winter, we should get a bunch of crops. And late spring, early spring, late winter, we should get our carrots, we should get our daikon radishes and cabbages and brassicas, no trouble. The only problem is going to be if we do have a hard freeze, and usually that comes later in January, early February, but we'll see. So anyway, just a small update about what we're doing with the war on nutsedge. This is the 3rd round, and well, we're having to do it manually. It's the best way. It's the way to be sure. I'll keep you updated. So hey, thanks for joining me on Black Gumbo Southern Gardening. If you're planting a fall garden, go check out Seeds for Generations. They are a family-run business. Their seeds are good quality seeds. I love their packaging, and you'll be supporting well, like I said, you'll be supporting a local family-run business. Check my link down below. If you purchase from Seeds from Generations, I get a little bit of a commission from them, and yeah, couldn't be a nicer family to buy seeds from. Hey, y'all take care. I'll talk to you next time. Got a guest coming tomorrow, so we'll have a video out soon, and we're gonna have some fun planting some garlic and talking to each other, catching up on gardening type things. So stay tuned. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.